All
Alright.
right, make sure it's recording and or going and everything. Okay, hey everyone, this is Chill. This is episode 347 of the OotiniCast, being recorded on November 8th of 2018. This is the live version going out on Twitch and eventually on YouTube. And it's complete with all the flubs and mistakes and all that good stuff. And then I will edit the audio and it will go out as a podcast tomorrow. So, with us today is going to be Marcus from Working Nerds Podcast and the
Working
big topic.
Class Nerds.
Sorry, Working Class Nerds, and and the big topic will be swtorunite. So there you go. All right, is everyone ready to go?
Oh, I just got a very important tweet.
All right, so we are rolling. I see that the Twitch is rolling as well, so we're good.
My phone's gonna die.
You should plug it in.
Are you recording yet? Also, yes, you can pay PayPal, by the way.
What's so funny? The awkwardness, that's me. I'm ready whenever you guys are.
You can pay through PayPal.
Alright.
I've learned over time, Doc, that like if I have like stubble and I stroke my chin, it's enough to like make the microphone pick it up.
Oh yeah.
So I've learned, especially like doing cryptography, trying not to do that, because that's just because it's just me straight talking now, and it
Right.
and anytime I do, I have to either decide, I'm going to leave that in or I'm going to try to cut it out. So
That's a
okay.
good tip. I've never thought about that, but I can
Yeah.
see how that would be a thing.
Yeah, and you have a really good mic too, so it's like once you get a good one that's going to pick this stuff up, it gets very sensitive. Hey, Fizon. Hey,
It's
Fee.
that's actually a really good point. Even things that I didn't think about when I bought the mic, like dragon dictation, sometimes I use that for my job because I'm tired of typing. It's super accurate now. And it's all because of the mic. Like I did not
That's
expect
right.
that.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
Clean my glasses here.
Someone says that my notes for the week are being a champion of the world.
Yeah, I wrote that.
All right.
That
I'm
was
gonna
my
put a
gift to
real
you.
note. Yeah, thanks.
I was waiting
Alright.
for you to see it.
Do you need a minute, Doc, or do you want me to go ahead and get going?
No, I have my things I want to talk about. I'm going to post in the current image of the mine trap in that
Okay.
part.
I put an earlier
We
one,
can-
but that's fine.
Yeah, we can go.
All right, excellent. All right, let me. I know everyone's got their Audacity rolling, so I will just get this going. Okay, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast, the podcast that is out of it for a little while and everyone gets delusions of grandeur. This is episode 347, being recorded on Thursday, November 8th, 2018. I'm your host, Chill, and with me is my co-host, Dr SWTOR. Hey, Dr SWTOR.
You are so right, Chill. This is going to be the best episode ever.
Ever.
Awesome. And that was also Marcus. Marcus from Working Class Nerds. How you doing, Marcus?
Great. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. How's Working Class Nerds going for you?
That's great. So we haven't announced it yet, but this Thursday we have a really big guest. And the hint is he's from BioWare.
Ooh, big tease. Love it.
But it's episode 30, and Nick and I are coming up on 1 year. So it's pretty exciting. He's actually sitting behind me, and we're working on our website to get that up and rolling. And we just bought our PAX East tickets, and we're hoping to get media passes to be able to talk to all the developers and,
Cool.
play the games privately, in like little time slots. So it's good.
That's awesome. Yeah, let us know when your website's up.
For sure.
That's cool. Do you have any plans about it that you can talk about it right now, or is this too early in the process?
So for the website?
Yeah, for the website.
So the website is just going to be your basic website. It's just basically so people, if they Google us, it doesn't take you to the Buzzsprout page where it just shows all of our episodes. We'd like
Right.
to have a page that shows our bios. And then the big thing for us is we'd love to have a link page, because we all talk about each other all the time. I'd love to have a link page to, your Twitch channel, Dr. SWTOR's Twitch channel, all the podcasts that we listen to, that we've had as guests, and, all that stuff, to just try to keep connecting people and help people. Because if, somebody clicks on your webpage, as well as I do, and says, oh, what's Working Class Nerds? They click on it, and next thing you know, they listen to it, then they hit subscribe, and now you have a new subscriber, and they have a group of friends, and that's how, the power of growth is.
And they tell two people, and they too tell two people, and on and on. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that is how it works.
And and somehow, some way, I want to integrate Mr. Wolf into it. So we'll figure that part out.
Oh, cryptography reference. That is
hey,
obscure.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. How about in game? What you been up to?
Well, so I'm Mr. Group Content, as everybody knows, and we had a baby 2 weeks ago. So our baby boy was born, and actually, Chill, I'm actually dedicating my tune to you because I'm playing a smuggler. Never played it before. And nice. I was watching you, play your agent, which is essentially a smuggler on the other side. And, I've been just leveling them through. I think I'm level 31. Nice. And I'm using a XP boost, but no XP gear, anything extra.
Right.
And I think I'm on Alderaan, and I'm level 31, so I'm actually leveling at a good pace with the game. I'm not doing anything extra. I'm just doing the class missions, and it's actually really fun because I actually got killed by a gold, and I said, whoa, I died. And I think it's because I didn't have two lightsabers.
That's
and
probably
that's the
true.
other. Yeah, no, it absolutely is, Doc. I'm not used to a ranged class, and I don't want to say the word frustrating, but it's frustrating because you're waiting for that cast to shoot the mega bullets or whatever they are. And
are you a gunslinger or are you a gunslinger or are you a scoundrel?
What's the mirror to the sniper?
Gunslinger.
That's a gunslinger.
So I'm doing the gunslinger.
I was gonna say, based on, and also they have the most hard casts, so that's not surprising.
Right. But so but having to manage your heat, see, this so well because you have leveled so many tunes. Managing your heat is so tough because I don't have a clue to what I'm doing.
Especially when you're leveling, because there's some utilities and some talents and stuff that come in later on that really help that you don't have when you're pre 60, pre 70.
Exactly. And I would say the most challenging thing is I'll be fighting a gold and all of a sudden I'll have no heat, and I would have already used that burn down to help recharge it, and I'm just hitting the one key, and it's taking forever for him to die, and then I use the grenade and it takes all the heat away again, and I'm like, oh man, here we go again. But I'm having a really good time doing it.
It's fun, and it's extra tricky because you essentially have like half of an energy bar, because if you get into the lower half, your regen goes down to nothing, and it gets really tricky to get back unless you have that cooldown. So it takes some getting used to, but it's one of my favorite classes actually, is sniper / gunslinger.
Yeah, and believe it or not, it's been a lot of fun. I'm super excited to get back into the group content. So the reason why we're here is for SWTOR Unite, and we'll talk about that. But I'm also this Sunday is going to be my first time back in 4 weeks from my Death Star Troopers ops team that Doc is on. So I'm really looking forward to that. Just a big comeback and, find a little normalcy back in my life. And then at the same time, hoping, hint, hint, nudge, nudge to Doc, I'm hoping we can get episode 4 of Psych Talk back up and running, because he's been super patient with me with the baby. But I'm eager to do that because, I don't think anybody's going to call me slave again, but I want to, shoot lightning at people.
We can fit that in, Marcus.
I know we can.
I mean, calling you a slave. Not so sure about Psych Talk.
Oh, come on!
Oh. No, we'll get it done, Marcus.
We sure will.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, Doc, how about you?
All right, so my presentation in Orlando last week, or actually it was 10 days ago or so now. It went really well. The recorded version that that's in post, I guess they're going to loop my PowerPoint into it, and they had 3 cameras on me, so they're gonna artfully use the angles.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with that one. If I had to compare the live presentation with the recorded one, I think the recorded one was better because there was no, when you're talking to a room with hundreds of people, sometimes their reactions, their facial changes as you say things, it kind of leads you down paths that you don't go on when you're doing just the cold, controlled, experimental environment. And but I think they're both really positive. I mean, the audience, they're all counselors, so they don't know that much about games. They said that I made Final Fantasy Brave Exvius very relatable to them, that they didn't have to understand who Cloud was, and they didn't have to understand really what tanks, healers, and DPS are, and like how buffs stack differently, because even though I was talking about how certain characters have supportive features that impact other classes and roles, I was still helping them to understand why that causes people to buy loot boxes. And that was the key point of the presentation. So I made gamers feel like they understand a little bit more about games than they did when I started talking. And I got over 50 questions just in walking around an hour afterwards about Fortnite. That's something a lot of them wanted to understand. Like, what do you think about Fortnite? And I was like, it's not fun. So, I mean, that's my personal. I actually downloaded it with my son. He's 10. He wanted to play it on the PlayStation. So, after 30 minutes of just instant dying because he's the easiest kill on the board, he's like, let's uninstall this. There's no reason for this to be taking up, 10 gigabytes or whatever it is. So I did play SWTOR also. Getting ready for SWTOR Unite, I wanted to see, can I actually beat Nahut? And we, the Goonies team, Goonies Never Say Die, we actually took out Gods from the Machine last week over 2 nights because it's quite long. And I'm feeling good about where our team's going to be at when we do the 16-man on Saturday. I really do. So maybe later in the podcast when we're talking about it, we can talk about what the team's shaping up to look like. And
definitely, we'll do all of that.
We'll go over the roster. We'll go over some of the things that I'm hoping it accomplishes and do that last push before the event becomes now. So
it is now.
Well,
it's minutes away.
Lots of minutes.
Lots of minutes, but it's coming.
Yeah. Yep, it's coming up so fast. So
exactly 2 days from right now. So
Boomba!
We should be doing it. So
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yep, and we put out the most recent announcement for it featuring Tithe. It's gotten thousands of people to interact with it, and I think that it leads to the next Mind Trap. I might have to put up a new one tomorrow just to get the public perception of how many times we're going to wipe, because that's kind of what I asked in the image, isn't it?
7.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. That's 7 sounds reasonable.
Well, okay. So I'd like to say this. If we get past Nahut easily, I think it will be under 5, because Goonies Never Say Die took out Isaacs in 2 polls, and we had 1 or 2 people that are not full-time members of our team. And with me just barking at people the entire match, and I passed the interrupt calling out to we did it kind of collectively, but I also asked Dekion to do it too, so both ways seem to work. So I think it'll go well. I think it'll surprise people, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about you, Chill? What have you been up to?
All right. Well, let me do a shout out to the chat room. Agent Iron Spider's here. Anu, Apricot, Droop Fruit, I guess that's right. Commander Root, Deck is here. Dekion, DreadX, you are here, Doc, as is Marcus as Working Class Nerd 17. Let's see, Fiona is here as well. So both of our Guild emissaries are in the chat room. KJSMLD, Liberty 2017, MA Easer, N7 Karma Wolf, Raceven, Skinny Seahorse, Slow Cool, Starry Saber, Sinwolf 69, VNK, and Virgo Praz are all here. Hello, everyone. All right. I just kept the grind up. I got to CXP level 300 today.
All right.
So I opened my first couple of tier 4 boxes today. So I'd like to get a few more tier 4 boxes rolling, of course, because whenever you get to the next tier, that's when you're sort of getting like a whole bunch of, actual gear that's actually improving your situation. So I definitely want to get a few more CXP boxes opened. I also need to right at the end, I'm gonna upgrade it in the fleet with all my little disintegrated gear bits, add augments, maybe hit a few datacrons, because I did some datacron runs over the last month, but it's a new server, so I don't have a lot of them. So average gear is 241. Not bad. Probably can do the story mode on it. Definitely, I would have no hope on like hard mode, I don't think. And I just dinged legacy level 31. So this is all from one character over the last 4 or 5 weeks. One character just hard grinding.
That is impressive, though.
Yeah, from legacy levels nothing to legacy level 1 to legacy level 31. So yeah, and they're really, after you get, I think level 25 had the last thing that I actually needed an upgrade for or wanted an upgrade for. And since then there's been nothing. But it's still interesting to sort of see it came around. I am having some weird crash to desktop bugs. There's been like 3 in the last week, which is kind of weird, and I've actually done a couple of like repairs to SWTOR, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. If it's just my system, or if maybe it's the last patch, or just coincidence, I don't know. I'm hoping that this will like settle out, because I don't want to be, I don't want the group wiping during SWTOR Unite because I'm, crashing to desktop for no reason. And there's no warning, there's no error message. It's crazy. It just goes right to desktop and it just goes away. It's crazy. So I don't know what's up with that, but like I say, hopefully it won't happen again. I had the last one today, but I don't know. I did a repair and it didn't happen after that. So let's hope. Okay. I also have some ideas of what I'm going to do after SWTOR Unite, but this episode, let's stick to SWTOR Unite, and I can talk about it next time. So, I'm really excited. I've definitely, because I've done something which I haven't done in a long time, which is to like really gear up a character and like stick with that character and not change spec, nothing else. So I'm really dialed in on like how the spec works and how the character works and where all the abilities are. So I shouldn't have any problems in that sort of thing. So for me, the only we'll talk more during SWTOR Unite, but the SWTOR Unite section at the end. But for me, the main part will just be learning the fights properly, because I'm also planning on actually going to like some of the guides and actually like watching some of the videos, because for me this is new content for me, so I'm very excited, but I don't want to be holding the group back too much. So very excited, but a little nervous, of course. So
well, chill. If you want to do some video sessions with me, I have saved all the streams where I've had success and highlighted them, so I can go through that with you and just talk you through what's happening. Cool. In the video, if you want to do that.
Yeah, maybe we could do that either sometime Saturday or maybe Friday night.
Yeah, and also, since I don't know who's watching, well, you just told us who's watching, but if anyone wants to listen to this before SWTOR Unite that's on the team, you're free to come in and do that. I'll help you out, and we'll get you prepared for, the first 2 fights I'm not concerned about too much, but we can definitely do that for Nahat, Skyva, and Isaacs.
Okay, cool.
That's an easy thing to accomplish. We want people to have a good time watching the stream and not just watch us return to area start for 3 hours.
Yeah, let's hope not. All right. That'll bring us to the tip of the week. We have 2 tips this week, and one is from Lecto Sama. And Lecto writes, I'd like to submit a tip of the week, although I'm sure everyone but me knew about it. Apparently, if you press and hold the keyboard combination of Control and G, it pops up a window that will allow you to fast travel to any Daily Zone or Heroic terminal for free. This is a lot cheaper than using the galaxy map or your ship. It doesn't work for all planets, but does work for most. I didn't know this until recently when my guildmaster looped me in, and apparently it's been a thing for a while now. Hashtag embarrassed. Hashtag Starforge. Hashtag canted circle. Thanks, Lecto. Yeah, this is one that it's taken me a while to get used to as well, but it's definitely easy, and it's even easier than the Shift M Galaxy map because, well, that one will take you anywhere as long as you have as long as you've gotten far enough in the class story to have your ship. But it costs credits. If you're doing the heroics, it'll actually take you there for free. So you have to be a certain level, I think, to use a lot of them. But yeah, it's definitely very, very useful. Yeah, and it's semi-recent. It's semi-recent. We'll give him a pass.
No, thank you, Tip. Control G, I had no idea. So you're a win. And Shift M, I didn't even know about that either. Where have I been? Am I the only person on the whole planet that clicks everything on the screen?
Maybe so.
I think so.
You definitely are, Marcus. Yes.
Wow.
You can have that title. Actually, hey, Musco, if you're listening, new title, The Clicker of All Things.
The clicker of all things. That's awesome. All right. And the second tip is from Chad, and Chad writes, a while back I submitted a tip about getting cartel companions. One of the problems I've had is that I could never find customizations for them. While most still can't be customized, I did find a vendor on the fleet that has a few. Look for the vendor between the containers where you pick up either the creature or the droid companions. Each cost 10 of the purple level Jawa scrap, but I now have a coastal Nexu, so win for me. Oh. Nice. I wasn't really aware of that either. I do have an Act Dog, so maybe there's some Act Dog ones that I could get. So thank you, Chad. By random allotment, the winner is Lecto-sama. So congratulations, Lecto. You're the winner of a Tonfon or M83R Droid Pet Code, courtesy of BioWare, and an OotiniCast provided Cartel Market Pack from the latest shipment. If you'd like a chance to win the same, please send your tips to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next show. And that will bring us to the Jedi Mind Trap. Doc?
All right. So I've been thinking a lot about, what people feel when they're faced with a lack of success. And so in what I do, our emotional reaction to things are a real key. So once you understand that about a person, then you can start doing work to help them actually enjoy things. So there's that little moment before your thought process kicks in where you reassure yourself or you decide what you're going to do, where it's just a purely emotional feeling that washes over you. And so that's what this question is all about. So my mind trap question earlier today is what is the immediate feeling you get when you die in SWTOR? So again, it's a video game. It's supposed to be sort of an escape and fun and something that we do in our free time. So we're not faced with any dire circumstances, but certainly people have some really strong reactions to video games saying, hey, you didn't do that right. So the options were anger, rage, or I hate them. And so I was thinking, sometimes you feel like the game didn't give you a fair shot. You didn't deserve to lose. That things are not operating as intended from a development perspective, or it's PvP and you just really despise the person who outplayed you or cheap shied you or you didn't even see them. So that's option one. Then, of course, there's the disappointment or sadness, like I've been doing this for hours, I'm never going to beat this, kind of a despair kind of feeling. Curiosity, problem solving, how do I win this, what's going on here? That tends to be, if you watch my stream, sometimes you'll hear that question, like, what's going on here, what got you? I want to, I only know what it's like to be a healer in most fights, although I have been a DPS and also a tank, but I've never been a serious tank, I wouldn't say. So I always am curious, like, what happened, and what was the point where it started to fall apart, and then how can we catch that quicker and get into restoring our group to homeostasis or balance. And then the last one is kind of like calm, peace, there's no emotion, kind of the first step of the Jedi code. I'm just enjoying the game. I can click return to area start all day. I'm not going to have any emotional change here. That, this is my piece playing SWTOR. I love this game, and losing is part of it. And so before we talk about the percentages here, I want to ask our guest, Marcus. I certainly heal you a lot, so I get to witness and experience the times when we die firsthand. But what do you think you feel most often when you die, especially in being Mr. Group content?
There is no emotion. There's only the Force.
Okay, so that's nice. So we have a step. That's the culmination of the Jedi Code. So what does that mean as a person who plays SWTOR in a world where the Force is?
It's just
sorry, everyone, not real.
I just, when I die, I say, okay, I die. The only time I think it's ever really bothered me when I died is in the Isaacs fight, because the bomb at the end goes off and it killed everybody, and we beat him. We won, and that bomb went off at the end, and everybody just stood there and we're like, what's going on? And some of us hid and we all just died, and that's the only time I would say I had any ounce of frustration. But every other time I just laugh because the healers play a game. And they're like, oh, let's see how low Marcus's health can go before we heal him. And, the game got me. That's what I keep telling myself.
Right. I mean, we have to, if we're on story mode, we have to do stuff to make it interesting, Marcus. And you're the easiest target because you're melee and all the circles are right there. So, it's actually challenging if we don't start healing you until you're at 18%.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Chill? So, when you play, and also you can loop in the kinds of things you play, because that's something that the chat on Twitter pointed out immediately, is it really depends what I'm playing. So what do you think your response is for this question?
Right. It definitely depends for me. I ended up clicking on curiosity just because when usually like the kind of deaths I usually die, it's like usually it's something is unusual and I need to figure out like what's going on. It's like, oh, okay, I clearly missed like a boss mechanic or something like that. Even if it's solo content, sometimes there'll be this weird boss mechanic that you don't get out of it, and all of a sudden something bad happens. So a lot of times it's curiosity. Sometimes it's anger or rage. Usually it's anger or rage in a couple of situations for me. One is if it's PvP and it's just like I just totally get outplayed in a way that I can't fight back from. Like I get CC'd, I use my CC break, I immediately get CC'd again, and then I get chain CC'd. I'm resolved, but I'm still CC'd, so I can't do anything, and then I die. That sometimes will upset me.
Yeah.
That'll sometimes upset me. And sometimes, like, if there's a bug that's preventing me from living, that I actually get very angry at, because I'm never happy like to die to a bug. So that's always sucks. Disappointment or sadness I haven't felt in a long time. I think the last time would have been like when we were doing operations on a serious like week by week basis. This would be back with TO, like Ravagers, that sort of time frame, and just once in a while like we'd be hacking at a new boss all night and we just wouldn't get any progress, and maybe the last fight of the night I'd be bummed out because it's like that was our last shot at actually winning this darn thing. Yeah, and then sometimes it's calmer peace. That actually happens like in PvP. I'll be guarding a node. I'm the only one guarding a node, and I'll call it out, but there's 4 people coming and death is coming. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
If they manage to pull me out of self, I am 100% dead. So yeah. So sometimes you just zen your way out of that sort of thing. Yeah, that just sort of happens too. But yeah. But I did put curiosity, because usually I'm trying to figure out like what I did wrong or what the unusual mechanic is, or how can I do better in that situation.
Yeah. I think that going into the statistics, we had a little low vote. It took me a while to put this question out there, but I'm sure more people will vote now, especially if you're listening to the live recording. But curiosity and how do we win this is leading right now. However, throughout the day, calm, peace, no emotion was losing, And anger, rage, and I hate them was actually doing more pronounced numbers early on. So I think that it really does depend what our audience for this poll is. I think that, bringing PvP into it, the other team can directly manipulate the match. And by manipulate, I mean just have a strategy that your team is not prepared for. So it's not cheating or exploiting. But if they trick your team to go to the wrong side of the map and defend the wrong thing, and you left one person on a node and now it's 1-on-4, even if those 4 people are not good, they should be able to take that node in under 25 seconds.
Yeah.
And so the response time of your team, seeing that whole grass 4, it's over. They're not going to get there. And so you get that feeling of, oh, they outsmarted me. That's not a very happy feeling if that's all that's flowing through your mind. And I just wanted to share a little bit about those automatic thoughts, that we do have time to rationalize it and justify and kind of walk away and be like, yep, it's just one match. One thing I will say about PvP is it's very easy to wash that feeling away. You get a new match. I guess ranked, your progress carries with you, but the more casual PvP, you just do the next match and there's no ongoing impact. Whereas if you're a progression team doing Nightmare, or at least a harder version of the op, and one boss has stopped your progress for weeks, then it might be harder to hold on to that calm and peace, because the instant reaction is maybe even just a learned hopelessness, that moment where you don't really, you do the poll, but you don't believe that there's a chance that we can do this. So,
oh yeah, I felt that.
Yeah. So those Psych 101 students listening, or people interested in that, I just gave you 20 key concepts and terms for your next psychology quiz. But, I think that it's really interesting to see what playing this game does to us. We are actually purposefully walking into these situations, unless, and this is a legitimate way to play too, unless you sign in knowing that there's the challenge you're facing is not whether your character lives or dies, right? So you might feel that frustration or anger from different things, but it's not this feeling of I'm not good enough, or they're better than me, or this boss is unwinnable. There's the risk of that too. So yeah, thanks everyone. So I guess we can go about our business with the rest of the episode. Chill, let's move along.
All right, that'll bring us to the holo feed. All right, we've got a few notes from the developers. There's a question on the OSIS daily missions, and the question was, are the reputation items for OSIS meant to have drastically less than half values compared to every other reputation? And Eric wrote, this is an intended change. Yes, there are other changes surrounding it, though you may not have not yet experienced. Basically, rep for OSIS looks like this. Individual tokens reward less than before. You can more consistently get rep tokens from the content. For example, world bosses regularly drop tokens. And the weekly cap for OSIS reputation is higher than other reps. This rebalance of rep is meant to allow players who play a lot to earn more rep than they would before, while also removing the situation where a player ends up with tokens in their inventory that they can't even use. Definitely let us know your thoughts on this change as you're playing. So this is, of course, for the test server. Kind of interesting. I have noticed, since I'm doing IOCath on the character that I'm getting ready for SWTOR Unite, every week I now have more and more IOCath tokens that are just sort of building up because I'm doing them every week. You get more than you can actually use every week, and because of that, I'm actually getting this weird buildup of IOCath tokens that I just can't use. So at the beginning of the week, I actually have a bunch of things to click on, and then I actually go and do IOCath, and then I get more. So, wow. So yeah, it sounds like this situation will be a little different for OSIS, which is kind of cool. I don't know, there was no indication that they were planning on making this a change for any other rep, but it clearly is what they're going to do for OSIS, so Kind of cool, actually. I mean, because if someone's doing a lot, it's nice not to have that just sort of artificial wall where you just, oh, okay, no more rep for this week until, you know, and then I'll just click a bunch of stuff next week. So that'll be nice, actually.
Yeah, that impedes people wanting to actually do it week in and week out too, because they get the reward without even playing it now.
Right.
You want to avoid that, make it efficient.
Yep. All right. What are the studio plans for adjusting bolster in 5.10? And then Musco wrote back, bolster is currently planned to go up in 5.10. Let me work on confirming exactly to which item rating it is going to shift, and I'll let you know. And then he wrote back a little later, current plan is that in 5.10, bolster will have the following item ratings. Gear will be 248, up from 242, and augments will be 236, up from 208. And as always, this is subject to change, and he'll let us know of any other adjustments. So that was kind of cool.
I think it's a little much. I think bolstering it that high is a. I mean, I don't even have. Well, maybe I do have full 236 augments now, but Rack Evan makes them for me, and when I get them, I use them. But some of my tunes are still in 228 augments. I don't know. I think bringing, you know, and then the 248 gear. I mean, a lot of people went to the grind to get that 248 gear, and you're just gonna wipe it away to start another gear grind. I don't know. Put it at 246. Make that the bolster, and once you start seeing, because they're going to see all the people playing PvP, and once they start seeing, you know, 10% of the population that has 252 or 258 gear, then okay, maybe bolster it up. But right out of the gate, making everybody 248, I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't even in 248 gear.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
Right. But remember, the cap is going to become 258, right?
Yeah.
Well, then those players are going to wipe the floor with the 248 people anyway. Right?
But
it's
not
going to
at
take
first.
a little while. Yeah, not at first. I'm just saying, I don't know. I just think putting bolster at 248 is a little too high.
So you don't mind it, but maybe do it a little, like, a week or two down the road. A few weeks on the road.
Let's see how fast people actually get this gear. That's, you know, so many people are talking about, you know, all the different ways, and you know, on our last show, we were talking with one of my guildies, and we were talking about all the different ways to get the new gear. So I'm just anxious to see how everybody gets it, because in the beginning, I just thought it was because of Master Mode, and that was the only way you were going to get. But the reputation on OSIS and all, and you're going to be able to do PvP to earn it and all that stuff, it's just going to take longer. But I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how long it takes people, but I just think 248 as the bolster, that means your whatever you did in the last 6 months is null and void.
Right.
You know, just to counter argue that, Marcus, because we're live and that's the best time to debate.
Yes.
I have one of the most unpopular opinions about this that I think you can even create, so let's hear it. I don't think that gear should matter in PvP. I think if you're better than me, then beat me. Think about games that are one-on-one competitive. Let's say one of my all-time favorites, Mortal Kombat. Right? I'm Scorpion, you're Sub-Zero, Marcus. I don't beat you in 2 hits just because I play 30 hours a day. Listen to what I said there. And, like, I have maxed out every special move Scorpion has. I beat you because I know how to use him better than you know how to use Sub-Zero.
Get over here.
Right. So what I'm saying is one of my favorite times PvP playing ever was, I think it was maybe when 5.0 first came out and CXP was a new thing and nobody was getting any 230 gear for like their first 57 boxes, unless you're that weird person on Fleet that says, I got 3 of them by box 12. I hate you. So no one had gear. And
Right.
So I felt like, man, I'm doing so well at PvP because they're the same as me. And it just comes down to, can I play Sorcerer better than they can play Juggernaut?
Okay.
And
go ahead.
And so when we put the bolster, I mean, the bolster is not the max. The people who play with a lot of their time every evening and go in and do the things specifically to get the gear, they have better stats, they have better speed, they should win. And so that's how MMOs are. And so that's why, in my opinion, I know it's unpopular and shouldn't happen, is you should reward the grind. But when it comes to PvP, I feel like there is something to be gained by having more equal playing field, that it shouldn't just be people who play more with, you know, that's my opinion. I think that there's value to both sides, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've
What do you
definitely
think?
had people on the OotiniCast over the years who have had that very opinion, and I actually tend to agree. Actually, I would love to see a situation where that happens. The only thing is that they need something to keep people queuing up, and unless there's a good substitute, unfortunately, the gear grind is how they do it. So I don't know.
When you have a game like I'm gonna say like Call of Duty, right? You level up and you get perks. So as you level up, you get perks. You're wearing essentially the same gear as everybody else, but you might get a perk where you have, you can withstand one extra bullet or something like that. Or in Fortnite, but there's no actual gear in those games. And so I agree with Doc in the sense of take the gear off, but what's going to make people want to queue for PvP every night if what are you getting out of it? The whole purpose of PvP is to have the best gear and, walk around with the best gear and play the best and know your class. But I know that I've been 248 in PvP and I got killed by a 230 tune just because he knew how to play the Marauder class better than me.
Right. And that certainly can still happen. And I agree with you there, is if it's not about getting better gear, why would you play? And so that's the problem, is the currency of the MMO has become the gear instead of other things in the game. Mm-hmm. And even more so for our game, because now everyone believes they deserve 248 gear. Whereas that used to mean that you beat either the highlighted hard mode for that week or you beat the Nightmare Ops. And right. So now everyone gets a 248. And so now the bolster has to be crazy high because we've created an artificial inflation and we've altered the purpose of why we play, because now you get the gear no matter what you do.
Right.
Fun stuff. Actually, I want to share something from the chat. Fiona, my healer with me in Goonies Never Say Die. Oh, wait, I don't need to introduce her on this podcast. She pointed out that having the higher gear makes people feel, well, I'm going to paraphrase here, but makes you have a sense of superiority or feeling good about how you play. And
you've earned it.
Right, you've earned it, right? So there's some self-esteem and identity kinds of implications there. And if we shift, and this is probably why 5.0 is so unpopular, is we shifted the method of developing that in-game self-esteem dramatically, and people weren't up for it. Mm-hmm. So good psychology stuff, Fiona.
Good job, Doc.
Nice. All right, skipping over a couple of other sort of things about operations that they were talking about for the PTS. They are in the show notes if people are interested. But let's go to the couple of general Star Wars news bits that came out today. Disney had its quarterly earnings. They were better than expected. And in kind of whenever you have the quarterly results, there's always a phone call. And in this case, a couple bits of news dropped off. So we now know that Diego Luna from Rogue One is going to lead a spin-off series that's going to be on Disney Plus coming out. And he's going to reprise his role as the rebel spy Cassian Andor. And who helped Jyn Erso steal the Death Star plans in Rogue One. So it's going to be set before those events, obviously. Yeah. And but that's pretty exciting for me. I love Rogue One, and Diego Luna did a wonderful job as Cassian. I thought he was one of the more interesting characters in any of the most recent movies for Star Wars. Anything you guys want to say about that?
Yeah, actually, as a side note, I should have mentioned this in what I've been up to. I got to do the VR experience at Disney Springs in Orlando, where you go through Mustafar as a stormtrooper squad with like the VR gear on.
Oh, cool.
And Diego Luna is the person who issues you your mission. And they got him to be, it's very much like a walk-through theme park ride. And so he tells you what you're doing and why you're infiltrating this Imperial base. And, anytime I see him doing Star Wars stuff, I just get really hyped for it. I wasn't expecting that at all. And so that feeling of I really like his Star Wars character is fresh for me. And then the news came out today. I think
that's cool.
I think it's really neat that they would go back and maybe let us see that less humanistic side of Cassian, because his interactions with Jyn throughout the movie kind of soften him up and make him have that ideal rather than just the rebel lifestyle. And I'm really excited to see some really great moments for his character that you don't have time for in that particular movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Disney. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Marcus.
No, so Disney. So, all right. I'm going to back up. Rogue One is the best movie that since Disney has owned the franchise, in my opinion. And yes, anybody can make a good movie when you know the ending. But that movie gave us everything they wanted, and spoiler alert, everybody died. So, they did it right. But the best part is they never thought we would fall in love with all those characters the way we did.
Mm-hmm.
So the way to make us fall in love again is to make off a spin-off series about one of the main characters that we loved so much. Because you felt for them when the Death Star arrived and you were like, uh-oh, here we go. You were like, you actually felt for him standing on the beach. And I commend Disney to do that, because capitalize on the characters that we care about. Because to be honest, some of the newer characters in the newer movie series, I'm not as attached to as I was attached to the Rogue One characters.
I really enjoy that movie too. It gave me my favorite Darth Vader sequence. I know that's an easy opinion to have, but if you watch it, he's doing things. It's so fast. It's such a quick sequence, but like he deflects a blaster bolt into the body of a person that he's floating in the ceiling behind him. Like it's that detailed. Like he's doing so many things with the Force in that hallway besides approaching and slicing people. And if you watch it, like just the nuance of like, that's what Darth Vader can do. It makes you realize like he is playing with his food in Empire, and he is totally not down with killing his son in Return of the Jedi. That's the only moment and he's like seeing, oh, is this really all Obi-Wan can do? Like if we take that Darth Vader and we put him in all three of those sequences, we realize that's the only time on a movie theater screen that we saw Darth Vader trying to kill his enemies. And I'm glad we have that moment. So.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's they're going for the rousing spy thriller as the mode that they're going to go for. So that sounds like a lot of fun. We had sort of slightly similar things with Clone Wars and with Rebels, but it'll be interesting to see how the sort of the flavor of this one is sort of developed. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that one for sure. The other bit of information that came out along with the earnings was Disney's Iger is calling Star Wars the biggest lands that we've ever built. So they are doing Star Wars lands in both the California and Orlando properties, and they're saying that they're the biggest attractions the company has ever built, and therefore the demand could be dramatically high. They are planning on doing it so that it will have a major impact, and he's being they're saying big in size and scale and huge in ambition. So this is pretty exciting because, I mean, there's some fun little, new areas of this park and that park, but just the idea that like it's another major like chunk of the park, like I would hope like every bit of equal as like all of Tomorrowland, for instance, that sort of thing. Like just a huge section that involves multiple rides and multiple attractions and all that stuff. Sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that, to seeing what they do with that too. So
I would bet that it's going to launch one way, but there's going to be room to keep making stuff for a little while before it's absolutely finished, and that's what it's going to be for a decade.
Mm-hmm. Right, and some people are still like Sinwolf is more excited for the Mandalorian than the new Rogue One series, and I get that because the Mandalorian could be really cool too. So it of course it all depends on how good is the writing, how good is the directing, how good is the acting, and all that sort of thing. I'm sure their budgets will be fine. So I don't think that will be the issue, but but it's always down to like how clever are the writers, how good is the direction, and how well portrayed are the characters by the actors. So all right, let's get on then to the force feedback. We read out your tweets and emails. In this case, I'm going to read an Utini Guilds update written by Dekion. Hi everyone, Dekion, GM of Utini Knights and Utini Rage, sending in the update this week. The past few weeks have been pretty active for the Utini Guilds. For the weekly Jar Jar Joyrides, we defeated Ravagers on Rishi and took down Scum and Villainy of Denova. Looking forward, we'll be running both Dread Fortress and Dread Palace on November 9th to finish the Oricon and Dread Master storylines and get the Tauntaun for some new players and alts. On October 28th, Utini Rage gathered in our Rishi Guild stronghold for some good old-fashioned Utini Ball and a little PvP. On November 3rd, members of Utini joined with Wookiee Mistake and Unholy Alliance guilds as they hosted their 5th Extra Life Day SWTOR community event. Extra Life unites players all over the world to play games in support of their local Children's Miracle Network hospital. UA Guilds hosted an incredible event which was streamed by Kid Lee and others for 12 hours. The different events included costume contests, a cantina crawl to get the Paxton Rawl achievement, the Corellian Run and Gun Race, and an old school mount contest, a SWTOR match game, some PvP actions, and ending the event with a traditional dance party. The SWTOR match game was extra fun with community influencers like Marshall from Usual Podcast, SWTORista, Magic Ace, Larry from Massively OP, DJ Lovechild, Jesse Stardust, Max from the AIE Guild on the Starforge, and Eric Musco, the SWTOR community manager from BioWare, on the panel. By the end of the day, the Wookiee Alliance team raised over $3,200 for various hospitals. That's pretty awesome.
Good job. That is awesome.
It was awesome to see the SWTOR community come together for a terrific cause. And that's it for now. If you'd like to join us for any of our events, type /cjoinutini in the in-game chat and shout out to let us know. Have fun and may the force be with you. Excellent. That sounds awesome. Thank you, Dekion. Really appreciate that. All right, that brings us to the Sarlacc Digest, where we go over the issues for 1,000 years, or until we run out of time.
So excited. So excited.
Obviously, this is going to be about SWTOR Unite, hashtag SWTOR Unite. So, Marcus, why don't you go ahead and take over this time?
Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, the real world time zone, Starforge server. All of the Star Wars podcasters are coming together, or who can make it, and we're doing wait,
Gods from the Machine.
That's what we're doing?
Hard mode EV.
We're doing 8-man, right, Doc?
Nope, 16.
Whoa, boomba! Wipe 7 times, but it's going to be awesome. So the whole story behind it, and everybody's heard it over the last 6 weeks. Doc and we talk all the time, and we were talking, and I've been talking for about a year about getting everybody together to do a podcast. And Doc's like, oh, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll get everybody together. And then I'm talking to him one day, and he's like, I want to do Gods from the Machine 16-man. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds fun. And he goes, we should do that with all the podcasters. He didn't even finish saying it. And I was creating a Discord channel with all the podcasters, calling them in and doing it. And 12 hours later, we have a full podcaster team, and everybody's on board and ready to go.
Nice.
Yeah. So when I said that, it was just, it sounds like we were scheming to create a big idea. That's not what was going on that morning.
It was in my head.
Well, for me, I was just saying, that would be cool. And then, like, I'm getting this invite to this podcaster channel literally in under 3 minutes after Marcus gets off the phone. You know, and it was just sort of like a side comment, like we should get our own version of Galactic Gamers Coalition. You know, we were talking about that podcast and how the community doesn't have anything like that going right now. And so I just said, yeah, it would be cool to do Gods from the Machine with everyone too. And then boom. So now we're doing it. It's like, when are we doing this? Because I was thinking, like, we can do it sometime before, like, June 2019 or, you know, before episode 9 comes out. And now we're doing it in 48 hours. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be something special because maybe it's been done, but since I've been around, this has never been done. And it's been awesome to interact with all of the podcasters in one place. And, you know, I have one more show to go to complete my Infinity Gauntlet. So the council, I'm waiting. But no, and then to see, okay, but then you see everybody get engaged. Redna created a tune on the Starforge. Chill, I've been watching you've been streaming for 6 weeks. No legacy, no money. I mean, I remember maybe a month ago, somebody gifted you 1 million credits or something like that, and you sent it back to them. You're like, no, I'm doing it on my own. You know, and when this is done, we're going to stand back and say, holy cow, we really accomplished this. Whether we win or don't, which we're going to win, it's an accomplishment. And, you know, and I can't thank everybody enough for just stepping up and saying, sure, let's do this.
Right. Yeah, Penn's asking in chat how many are going to be streaming. Do we know for sure? I'm obviously going to. I'm sure Dr. SWTOR will. Do we know how many others will be streaming it?
I think that the plan is for my channel to be where it happens, and I'm assuming that's where it would be hosted.
Okay.
So I've been talking with Musco about this for a little while now, and that's we want to kind of keep it centralized so that we don't dilute who gets to see it. You know, this could be
That's
very
fine.
confusing.
Okay.
And so that's more my idea. There hasn't been any official conversation about that, but I've been trying to figure out how to make it work most efficiently. And I think it's better to have everyone just start on twitch.tv/Dr SWTOR, and then so that we don't have people with like 10% of the audience is here and 15 is here and then 37% is here.
I completely agree. Everybody's
That's cool.
gonna
Yeah, I can totally do that.
Yeah, everybody's gonna end up hosting your site because you also want you want a centralized chat location. So, you know, as much as we're gonna be busy doing the op, you know, I'm also gonna have on my second monitor watching the chat, and I'm gonna be on your page because I'm gonna want to see what, you know, everybody's making fun of me because I'm not hitting the right buffs at the right time.
Right. And Doc, you'll make it so that everyone can hear the Discord as well?
Yeah, that's how it is when I stream. So
Cool.
I'd have to go out of my way and figure out how to shut that down.
And it's going to be a awesome feeling hearing all the voices that you listen to every week or bi-weekly in one place. It's going to be mayhem. And I can't wait. You know, I'm hoping everybody can pop in to the channel and say hi throughout it. And the focus is going to be the community and why do we all do this? We're all doing this for this game, and it's going to be the magic of it because, I mean, we all talk about this game in a podcast. Mm-hmm. So clearly we love this game and we care about it. And to hear everybody's point of views and playing a game together, because we're not an ops team and we're doing the hardest op in the game right now. Plus on 16 man, it's going to be an adventure.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. All right, let's see. Were there any other details we need to talk about?
Well, I mean, one of the interesting logistics of doing this is trying to figure out who's going to do what, because you have to have a certain number of people tank, and you have to have a certain number of people DPS, and you have to have the healers to keep the 16-person group alive. So, I think that we have a good lineup, and I'm really hoping the people in that lineup are ready to do the thing that I think they're going to do.
Cool.
So we have, for the tanks, I have Marshall and Sakari. And for the DPS, let's see. Okay, so we have 8 of them. So we have Chuck and Brian. We have Marcus, maraudering, and also our resident stupid stander in the circles. We have Ted from State of the Old Republic. Max from SWTOR Escape. We have Dekion from our podcast. He's going to jump in, help us out. JT and Chill are going to be the final 2 DPS. And then for healing, I have Magic Ace, Seema, Redna, and myself. So that's awesome. That's our starting lineup. No substitutions.
A lot of friends of the show there, which is good too.
Yeah. Super team.
So, I mean, I'm just hoping to give everyone a chance to really talk about what's kept them in this game, what's appealing to them about this game, how their podcast is continuing to be a part of the community, and what they hope that the audience and the people in SWTOR, what pops in their head, what comes to mind when they think about their show. I think that things like that are why an event like this can be interesting, and hopefully it's memorable. And there will be giveaways. I see that in our chat for the episode we're doing right now, that I've arranged for some giveaways to happen, and depending on like the turnout, there may be some that are not just related to items and coins.
I have a couple too.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to be special. Everybody, hopefully everybody can pop in and at least say hi. We're going to be doing this for 3 hours, so it's going to be special. So even if you can just pop in and say hello, we'd love to see you come in. And if you guys see Nick on Twitter at Nick Vern, make sure you message him and tell him to pop in the Discord, because you want to hear his voice. And we're hoping that all the rest of the podcasters that couldn't make it pop into the Discord and say hello throughout the stream as well, because this is going to be special. And hats off to all the podcasters for coming together to make me and Doc's dreams come true.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Got a little bit more time to get ready for it, and I'm going to have to make use of it.
Use those unassembled components.
Yep, those components are definitely going to go to good use. I haven't used a single one yet, so because I just figured, why bother, getting a 236 to a 242 if I can get them out of the boxes. So I just held them off to the end, and I'm just going to upgrade whatever I've got, and hopefully get a few more pieces that way, and a couple more CXP boxes. Maybe get lucky, and then, like I say, go for augments. So
awesome.
Yeah. I'm all ready. I've got like everything I need as far as I'm biochem, so I've got the never go away stim, the never go away med pack, and the never go away adrenal.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Here, 3 cheers for Umbara, man, because that's when that came back into the game after being gone for a long time. So happy to have that again. So, and I do have the regular ones that I can bring to the operation. So I have like a bunch of med packs and a bunch of stims and some adrenals.
Yeah. How many times do you have to run that flashpoint by yourself to be able to get all of those?
If you get the side boss, because that gives you another few.
Yeah.
I think it's like you have to run it like it's like they're not very expensive, fortunately. So I think I ran it like 4 times, and ended up getting those 3 recipes. But I didn't have any left over, and I didn't buy anything else. So yeah, it's not that bad. But it does take it takes a few runs, but it's not that bad. It's definitely doable.
Yeah. I just want to add one more thing, and this is sort of an answer to our chat room. There are some really great people who create content for the game. And of course, sharing the roster tonight and how the team's built up. The goal was to create a team that is the podcasting community. So just a specific part of content creation. So my vision for events like this, if I get to do another one, is absolutely to branch out into including, large group encompassing activity that can be streamed with people who create other kinds of things. So, I think that that's important, is that it's, there was a specific goal with creating this event. And so, future events will have a different goal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't know if anyone's perceiving that a certain way or not, but like, I really love Kid Lee's stream, and, SWTOR has been on the show. She's fantastic. So, yeah,
and she's knocking it out of the park in terms of YouTube content. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
If anyone's listening right now who's not, subscribed to her on YouTube, go to SWTOR and just click on that subscribe.
Right.
She's killing it.
Yeah, this isn't. This is just, we came up with the podcasters because that's the first thing that popped into our head, because we were talking about getting everybody together. And hopefully we can do this with all the streamers, or get the streamers together to do it, because that would be a special thing. Do a mega PvP a night or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be really fun. So we're thinking about stuff like that. Absolutely.
But come check us out. Come make fun of me. I'm an easy target. I'm going to be your resident DJ through the night, trying to herd the cats as I'm laying on the floor.
Oh, yeah. This will be fun. So, yeah, 2 days from the day this is being recorded, we're going to be live and rocking and rolling right now. So, looking forward to it a lot.
I can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait.
Okay, then that's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Steel Sean server, or in our
Utini Rage
Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast. You can find contact details for us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe to us using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific. Go to OotiniCast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room, and thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, SWTOR Unite.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time. And we, of course, will see you on Saturday for SWTOR Unite. Take care, everyone.
See you there, everyone.
All right. Let me get the broadcast turned off here. And